Alright, let's set the stage. Reimu Hakurei, as you know, is blessed. If she believes she will win, if she is just, victory will come to her. That is the power of the Hakurei Shrine Maiden. But in this case, she doesn't have her powers. Well, she did. Just long enough to create the barrier and the spell card rules. But then, the Hakurei God is like, you never took the time to respect me or ask my name. She's like, I did ask your name. He's like, no, you fucking didn't. So, as punishment, her powers are revoked. She lost her Hakurei bullshit powers. Now she's just a regular shrine maiden because someone's got to take care of the shrine because that was apparently in the contract. He's like, yep, you got it. You guys, you got to make this shiny, but no fancy powers for you. And she's like, that's kind of bullshit. And he's like, I don't write the rules. She's like, I kind of think you do. And he's like, ask my lawyer. And then from there, she is brought down to, I say badass, because she's not weak. If you look in PC98, she didn't have any of her hacks powers. She just had a yin-yang orb that she punted at people. So she can have that. And while I think she would still learn to fly with a flight card, at this point she can't fly because that was based on her Hakurei powers. So guess who comes out of retirement? That's right, Genji. Come on down, my boy. Because Zune did say he exists in Windows. He's in the pond out back. So Genji is now the floating turtle again. So Reimu unfortunately has to rely on that. And then she's like, okay, I can deal with this. I've dealt with far worse. Let's go. So she jumps on Genji because this is when the Scarlet Mist incident happens. So she has to deal with Touhou 6 without any of her hacks powers. So, you know what this leads to? It leads to her begrudgingly asking for help. Because usually she likes to solve this stuff by herself, just end it. But in this case, she needs help because she's not as Diesel and she's fighting vampires. Yes, the spell card rules do exist and they do, you know, mitigate it a little bit. But they're still fucking vampires. So she asks for Marissa to help. Marissa's like, yeah, I'm cool. Let me show you how you deal when you're not hacks. So, you know, they do a little training arc because Marissa isn't confident in Reimu right now. I mean, she is, but at this point, Marissa can actually evenly fight Reimu because Reimu does not have super Haxor power. She has a yin-yang orb, she can kick at people. So, they learn. Reimu learns some new Damaku styles that isn't specifically based on the Hakurei Shrine Haxor style. So, then they go to the Scarlet Devil Mansion. For the most part, they do fine. They're just beating up everyone, because while Reimu is weaker, reminder that before the spell card existed, and I'm kind of treating PC98 as canon here, she was able to punt gods with just a yin-yang orb. So, you know, she's doing fine. She's not that much weaker. But she has challenges now, because she doesn't automatically get a victory because she exists. Or because her belief is just. She has to earn it. Which actually leads her to losing to Remilia first, because Remilia can manipulate fate, which Reimu does not have a hard counter for in this case. So, you know, kind of a hard challenge. But Reimu isn't done yet. No. She has a secret technique up her sleeve. And you want to know what that secret technique is? She's going to ask for help. Who? Insert PC98 here. Because PC98 is canon here. She and Marissa know who Alice is. They know she's living in the woods. So they bring Alice into this, and Alice is like, okay, I can help. I've got the firepower. So they team up. They beat Remilia because it isn't like limited to gameplay. They just do 3 versus 1 because when are they gonna play fair? Fuck that. They beat Remilia. Incident is resolved. Flanger is there, but I'm not counting the EX boss as canon. So Flanger was just chilling in the basement like, yo, sis just got her ass beat. Sucks. Where's my Cheetos? But, yeah. So that ends. And from there, Reimu is doing fine. And this leads into Perfect Cherry Blossom. Which, again, goes for par for the course. But she struggles more with any enemies. Like Letty. It's wintertime. Letty's gonna beef it. And Reimu's not just gonna be a walk through her because, again, she has to earn it this time. So, she earns her victory. And in this case, Alice isn't an enemy because they've already reconnected with her, so she's one of the incident solvers and she's helping out. Saki is there too because she's like, you know what, I'll help you guys, why not? So they get to Yuyuko, who's doing her spooky, spectacular ghostiness. And here's where it gets hard. Because again, while Reimu is not, Haxer, she is strong. But Yuyuko is Yuyuko. She's equivalent to Yukari in terms of the powerhouse thing. So they actually have a hard time beating Yuyuko. And it goes on for a while. And basically, what happens is... Water break. What happens is... They have to team up, again, like they did with Emilia. But, in this case, it's not Reimu who gets the final hit. Because Yuyuko is like, diesel as hell. Yomu, yes, we're characterizing Yomu, thank God. She realizes her mistress is kind of going a little loopy, and she's like, yo, Yuyuko-sama, what the hell are you doing? I know I am loyal to you, but you're kind of going a little wookie kooky. So she teams up with everyone else, and she actually gets she knows how Yuyuko fights. She gets a surprise attack on Yuyuko, and actually pulls the win. She gets the W. And then the incident is resolved. Yukari comes around. She's like, haha, Yuyuko, you silly goober. That's you under that tree. And she's like, oh, it is? And that ends that game. And now we move on to the final game for this video. Imperishable Night. But Rain, what about the side games? What about them? They were fighting games, so all Reimu had to do was smack people in the face. So that didn't change much at all. So we're going into Imperishable Night. What happens here? More of the same, except more characterization, because Reimu, again, can't do all of this by herself. And she's actually become closer friends with everyone, because she's needing to do more teamwork. It's not just her and them, doing their own thing while doing it's not different routes, it's all one route. So they're all working together. So it's Alice, Marissa, Sakuya, Yomu. They are the 4 Crusaders. Or are they? What if there was a 5th Crusader? And you might go, Rain, what are you talking about? Well, they remembered Alice, didn't they? They're like, and you're like, no, you're not gonna. Oh yeah, I'm gonna. Because there is one person who could be very helpful here, and Reimu knows this. So she, takes a little detour, walks on over to a certain garden, and she's like, yo, Yuka, you still in there? And Yuka pokes her head out. Ellie's like chilling in a lawn chair or whatever. She's like, yeah, what's up? Do you want to bust some heads? And Yuka's like, I don't know, I've been bored lately, so I guess, sure, why not? So they get Yuka to come help with the whole moon problem, and Yuka's like, oh, look at these guys. I thought I recognized their presence. And then most of the enemies are like, oh no. And guess what? We get to see a fight between Yuka and Regal. It doesn't end well for Regal. So Yuka's just, mind her own business, wandering on through. She's kind of like soloing everything. Like, she kind of just wins the game. Because Reimu was like, hey, Yuka, you wanna do something? And Yuka's like, you know what? No one's ever asked me to hang out before, so sure, why not? So Yuka wins the day here. MVP Yuka. And Reimu was like, I should ask her to do my job more often. That was great. So the moral of the story is, if Reimu doesn't have her powers, the power of friendship is the one that wins the day. Basically is what I'm saying, because she interacts more with others, because we know in canon she's friendly and she does interact with a lot of people, but in this case, in incident mode, she's not a lone wolf. She's like, I'm gonna collaborate because I have no other choice, and these enemies are far stronger than the other ones, even with the spell card rules. Yes, I'm saying some of these are stronger than Shinki. Don't get on my ass, because it's not as straightforward as back then. Because back then, it was like, no spell card rules, I gotta yeet the thing at you, win or die. And she didn't have many allies back then. She didn't have many friends, it was just her. Now she actually has the option to team up with people. So of course she's gonna team up with people. So this is basically the story of what would happen if Reimu didn't have her hack Shrine Maiden powers. And if you're asking me, I honestly think it's better because it's more interesting. More characters get spotlight. More characters get remembered because Reimu needs to talk to them and, you know, engage with them. And more characters get the W instead of just Reimu, and Reimu. I know Flamedray got the W in 17.5, but that's like rare, okay? It's usually just Reimu. So it's kind of like Dragon Ball's problem with Goku and Vegeta doing everything. It's mostly just Reimu, not even Marisa. Marisa's the Vegeta, and she doesn't even get a chance to do shit half the time. So I'm glad that we went this route because it's a lot more interesting. And even Yomu contributed. She got the W once. That's great. And Yuka, best girl, one of the best girls, she came in. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you want to see a part 2, let me know. Or if you just like it, I guess. See you next time.